What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Muscle Amusement. Happy holidays, happy New Year's, all that stuff. It's been a crazy 2 months, but we're back on track, so let's get to it. We're in Irvine today on the corner of Gitano and Antivo at the luxurious Los Olivos apartment complexes. What does Los Olivos apartment complexes have to do with anything a theme park attraction based in Southern California? I'm going to tell you a hint. It's not just one, it's not just two, but it's three separate things. So follow me on a little walk, give you some information about what was here, and some personal accounts of being in these locations. So please enjoy. All right, let's go. What's up, guys? Like I said, we're in the front of Los Olivos. We are here in Irvine with the beautiful Edith. We're going on a little walk on what was here before. So this place is actually a very luxurious apartment complex. Check it out. It's got a beautiful gazebo right here on that corner. Very nice little park here as well. These apartment complexes are very, very, very luxurious. A little bit out of my price range, but if you can afford it, good for you, because these places are really nice. Now, the reason we're here is not to promote the apartment complex, but I mean, it is a pretty beautiful apartment complex. It's because here, back in 1971, there was an attraction that opened. It was an homage to the African wilderness, or wild, if you should say. It was called Lion Country Safari. Lion Country Safari actually started from a South African. He came and wanted to have a tourist industry. He thought it would be a good idea to, make a sanctuary for African animals and for the people of Orange County and Southern California to experience looking at these animals, in a very unique way. So let me show you a little bit of what the park used to look like, and not in the way you think yet, but I'll show you kind of what this area used to look like. Okay, it's going to be really hard to picture. However, right over there in that area where you see all those hills and the grass, basically, that's what this whole area looked like back in the day. Especially when Lion Country Safari was here. When Lion Country Safari was here, this area that we're standing on right now was part of the main entrance. There was trails that led over there that you drive in your car, and you'd have lions and zebras and giraffes and ostriches roaming free. Granted, they were separated because that wouldn't be a good idea to have them all together, but that was the premise of Lion Country Safari. So we'll keep on walking a bit and seeing a little bit more of the apartment complex, and also talk about two other attractions that were here with some pretty funny stories about each. So let's keep on our walk. So the unique thing about Lion Country Safari was you would drive through the park yourself in your own vehicle. If you didn't have a vehicle or you had a convertible, you could rent a vehicle to drive through the attraction. It was 4 miles of trail that you and your family could go and enjoy. Enough talking about Lion Country Safari. Let's go ahead and show you some videos about it, or some pictures about it, of what it was here and how it used to look back in the day. Hope you guys enjoy these. Lion Country Safari was a 140-acre attraction which brought exotic sights of sounds of the African safari to tourists of Orange County. The concept was simple: a drive-through zoo for the car-loving public. Visitors paid to drive their car through a 4-mile African wildlife preserve trail as the animals roamed nearby, providing an up-close and personal zoological experience. After the car safari, visitors could explore other themed attractions in the park as well, such as African Express train, hippo pedal boats, and the Zambezi River. The famous line for Zambezi River was, "If your boat should run into a hippopotamus while cruising along it, it's a real hippo." Despite all its beautiful nature, Lion Country Safari did not last. Even though the park was a success, drawing more than 1 million visitors during its first year of operation, the challenging economics of the 70s began to affect the attendance. Bad publicity from escape attempts and rising insurance claims brought an end to the park in 1984. And like that, Lion Country Safari is just another part of Orange County's historical theme park history. All right, now that we got the basic information of Lion Country Safari down, there was actually some pretty funny instances with animals. There was an elephant that escaped and actually wreaked havoc on the 405. He actually jumped the fence and or maybe knocked down the fence and then ended up going onto the 405, causing a traffic jam. That was some good publicity for the park. Also, there was a guy named Frazier. Frazier was a lion. Now, let me tell you, Frazier is a legend in many ways. Frazier had a song written after him and had a movie dedicated to him. Hey, babe, you know about Frazier the Lion's movie?
No.
So basically, Frazier was a horny lion that came from Mexico at 19 years old and created a bunch of cubs. You want to know about more information about Frazier? Here it is. Check it out. In 1971, Lion Country Safari got a boost from an unlikely star, Frazier the Lion. Frazier had a long tongue that wouldn't stay in his mouth, and he had a serious limp. However, the women loved him. The lionesses all loved him. He actually fathered 35 cubs until his death in June of 1972. Barely there a year, and he had 35 cubs. Attaboy, Frazier. He was so popular, they made a movie of him called Frazier the Sensuous Lion. The movie sounded kind of crazy. It's basically a guy goes to study Frazier. Frazier can talk. A billionaire wants Frazier's libido, so he tries to kill him. That's honestly the plot of the movie. Pretty crazy, huh? Frazier also had a song named after him by Sarah Vaughan titled Frazier, the Sensuous Lion. Couldn't make this stuff up, guys. Frazier, you are a legend. Rest in peace, buddy. So aside from Frazier fathering a bunch of kids, he actually had that movie and the song made after him. So that's pretty amazing, especially since he only had this much time at the park, making all those babies until he passed away at an age of like 20 or 21 or something like that. So Frazier, homie, good job, I guess. You still have offspring today representing in wild sanctuary. So good job, Frazier. The landowner, or the guy that leased the park, had a lot of space for other attractions. So that leads us into our second attraction, Wild Rivers. Wild Rivers was at more of this area over here. Okay, but we were at the beginning up in the entrance. That's kind of like the beginning where Wild Rivers was. Over here in this area, probably where the lazy river was, I believe. And then all that over there was kind of like the entrance area of Wild Rivers where you walked in. There was also another place here called Camp David. It was a summer camp for kids. I don't really know much about it, and it's not really an attraction per se, but it is part of the history here as well that the guy subcontracted for people to use. So yeah, this right here was Wild Rivers. Wild Rivers itself was actually a pretty cool water park. A lot of water slides, a big kids zone. I remember working with kids, and for the first, I want to say 5 years of my adulthood, we would go yearly to Wild Rivers. One funny story, I guess I should say, was I'm a big guy now, but I was a lot bigger back in the day, a lot bigger, and I decided to get on a slide with my friend, and we decided to go down together. Not together, but opposite slides. He went down, I went down, and the next thing you know, I got stuck. Yes, I was stuck in a water slide for about a good minute while the water was like kind of building up behind me, and then it just shot me out like a bullet. Pretty funny to this day, but kind of embarrassing to say the least. So yeah, this is all Wild Rivers, so that's kind of crazy, right? Wild Rivers used to be right here at this location. Wild Rivers sat at 8770 Irvine Center Drive in Irvine, California. The cool thing about Wild Rivers was it had a really cool view of the Irvine skyline. Check that out. It was your typical theme park with your slides and your chutes and your tube slides. They did have a section for kids. Not being a little kid, so I never really went there much. However, there was slides that looked like roller coasters. They called the Patriot a roller coaster, actually. It doesn't really look like a roller coaster, but it sure does look like a lot of fun. Congo River Rapids is a very good a very big beginner ride for kids, actually. And then, of course, you got the good old lazy river for the end of the day that you could just go and relax. The cool thing about this park was that it wasn't that big and it was never really that crowded. This is what it looked like then, and this is what it looks like now. Completely different. But don't worry, come May 2022, the Great Park in Irvine, actually the Great Park, I believe it's in Irvine, is going to have a new version of Wild Rivers. So let's continue the tradition. So that's, basically Wild Rivers and Lion Country Safari in this area. However, we're going to go a little bit ways over there where there's one location that used to be here that broke my heart when it disappeared. And once we get there, I'll talk to you guys and explain to you why, but it was heartbreaking. Not just for me, but for a lot of other music lovers. So we're going to head over there. Go ahead and follow us down there. We'll give you a little shot of what we're talking about, and then we'll tell you what was there. It's pretty sad, and it broke my heart. So let's go over there. So as Edith drives to our next location, pretty much this was right here. This was Wild River, still where we're driving. Once we pass the street, we'll just go ahead and be into what used to be a huge parking lot. Now the parking lot was massive because it held a concert venue. So pretty much right here is where the end of the entrance of Wild Rivers was, and then it was all parking lot. Now there's nothing that resembles a parking lot. Just like I said, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful apartments, beautiful pool area. I mean, this thing looks amazing. So it's still under construction, but all this used to be a parking lot. Parking lot leading to what we're going to talk about next, so stay tuned. So we're going down a pretty desolate road right now. Still construction's being done here on the right. However, what we're going to look into is going to be over here on the left. And like I said, for you concert lovers and you music lovers, probably came here a few times like myself, and this place was called Irvine Meadows. The good old Irvine Meadows, which then was changed to the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater. So we got to make sure we say that as well. So Irvine Meadows got changed to the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater, and now it is nothing but weeds. After that little car drive, we actually ended up at the Los Olivos Community Park. It's a very nice park. We don't really want to go over there right now because there's a lot of people over there. There's kids playing. I don't want to walk around the camera and have to explain what's going on. So we're keeping a distance. And the crazy part is this was the parking lot for Irvine Meadows. All this was nothing but parking lot. So if you remember the Irvine Meadows days, I mean, sometimes take an hour or two to get out because there were so many cars. So it's kind of crazy that all that's gone. However, there is a little bit of a remnant of Irvine Meadows, and we'll go check it out right now. Hopefully we have some access to it. If not, we'll have to look from afar, but at least we're going to be checking it out. So let's go over there. So let me give you some information about Irvine Meadows while I walk over there, because there's not quite a bit of information as far as the construction and building of it, but there is a lot of memories that you guys can share with me in the comments. So check out this information on Irvine Meadows. Ground broke for Irvine Meadows in 1980, and it officially opened in 1981. It had a capacity of 10,418 reserved seats and 5,667 seats on the lawn. There was no seats, however. It was just on the grass. As mentioned earlier, the site was previously part of Lion Country Safari. In this awesome picture from the past, you can see in the entrance there's actually a sign for Lion Country Safari, Wild Rivers, and Irvine Meadows. The first rock act to perform at Irvine Meadows was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers on September 18th, 1981. He set the tone for pretty much every rock band that was going to come into the Meadows after that. And the list is huge. A little too long to list, but some of the big names were Michael Jackson. Oingo Boingo had a yearly Halloween show. And this is rock and roll, but the Pacific Symphony Orchestra had an annual show there as well. Along with K-Rock, they had their annual Weenie Roast. So the Meadows was actually a very popular destination for a lot of bands and a lot of events that happened in Southern California. In 2000, the Meadows was actually renamed to the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater, and for 14 years it kept that name, till in 2014, Verizon didn't sponsor it anymore and it went back to Irvine Meadows. However, it didn't last too long because in 2016, on October 30th, Gwen Stefani performed the last performance at Irvine Meadows. And as you can see from these pics right here, what was once Irvine Meadows is now nothing but a field. It's crazy to imagine that millions of people throughout the years came and enjoyed and just came to have a good time in the sun at night listening to the bands they loved. So Irvine Meadows, thank you for the memories. Personally, you will forever be missed. Now, some of the bands that I've seen at Irvine Meadows, oh my gosh, one of my all-time favorite bands, Blink-182. That was actually the last show I went to in 2017. I took my kid and his friend to go see them, and it was kind of funny because there was a lot of people my age that were there, and that were there from day one. So, babe, what was your last concert at Irvine Meadows?
Oh gosh, I think I went to a country bash. It was like an all-day thing.
A country bash, yeehaw!
Oh no, it was the Blink, not the Blink one. What are their names? The Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Offspring. Oh, yeah, we came and saw the Offspring one with our kid as well. So, yeah, a lot of one of the craziest ones was a Warped Tour though. There was a Warped Tour here that happened once, and it was either Warped Tour or some kind of punk festival. But we came up looking like mudmen at the end because it was in the dirt. We were dirty, so that was crazy. Motley Crue was one of my all-time favorite bands seen here as well, because actually Tommy Lee went from like top of the stage to top of the stage on some kind of bungee system while he was playing the drums at each little corner. So that was pretty awesome. But man, who else did I see here? Social Distortion, a huge Social Distortion show back in the day. It was a kind of a benefit for a member of the band that passed away, and a lot of cool punk rock bands were there for that one. So now we're approaching the corner of Alonzo and Dana, and this is what it looks like. All the new constructions over there. All this was a parking lot. All this. About over there was maybe the ticket booth of Irvine Meadows in that area. And then you have to walk down, little trail. And then the one thing that most people remember, especially coming to Irvine Meadows, was to get to the venue, to get to the stage itself, or the infamous grass area that, you know, if you were broke, you went to the grass area. But you would walk down. It's not as steep as this, but you would walk down, and there was a little creek. Now along the creeks there was like advertising and a bunch of different things, but there it is. This is as far as we can go to check out the meadows. It's kind of crazy that millions and millions and millions of people, you know, came and enjoyed music and festivities, and you know, like I said, it's just crazy. I guarantee you, Bon Jovi came, he saw a million faces, and he rocked them all. You know why? Because he's a cowboy. That's all I gotta say about that. Like the sign behind me says, no public access, so this is like the farthest we can go, and this is actually where we stop our little adventure for the day. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in and learning about the area here. It's just crazy. Behind me was Irvine Meadows. Love that area, love that place, love that concert venue, love the memories of going out there as a kid to an adult, taking my kid there as an adult, spending a lot of time listening to music, a lot of money, a lot of dumb t-shirts, everything that you do at a concert. And the fact that, you know, right up the street we had Lion Country Safari and Irvine Meadows, where I got stuck in a freaking water slide, but that's a memory that I'll never forget as well. So not Irvine Meadows, Wild Rivers. Getting stuck in a tube at Wild Rivers is still an all-time memory. Believe it or not, it made me kind of put myself a little bit more in check. So thank you guys for joining us again on our little walk. Edith's over there taking pictures of the place. Say bye, Edith. All right, so thank you guys for joining once again. On to the next one, you guys. Happy New Year again. I know it's February, but Happy New Year. Happy everything. Let's get this going again, you guys. Take care.